Alright. Welcome to the PiG Daily, guys. It's going to be another IEM replay cast today. And today we are going to be looking at a game between Heromarine and Solar. Heromarine, one of the big surprises of IEM. For you guys who didn't catch too much of the tournament, he just blazed through so many stages of it. Was very close to being one of the highest placing foreigners in the tournament. He was one of the highest placing foreigners, but he was very close to going right through to the top stage. Played really well throughout the tournament, so I think we definitely need to watch one of his games. So let's go straight into game and let's take a look. So this is game one between Heromarine and Solar. This is from the group stage. And spawning down here in the bottom right hand side, the red Terran player, it is Heromarine. And his opponent down here in the bottom left hand side of the map, our blue Zerg, it is Solar. So it's going to be a TvZ on Newkirk Precinct. We'll have just a minute or two of downtime in the early game to just chat. So I hope you all had a great weekend. I know I did. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling happy. I hope you guys do take advantage of the opportunity to send in some replays for the iCast Your Freaking Awesome Replays show, which airs on my Wednesday, which is Tuesday for you guys in Europe and America. So try to get those replays into me tomorrow, tomorrow, and that way, good chance of them getting cast. The challenge is a gentleman never attacks without warning, so you've just got to dance units in front of your opponent's face before you attack. Send me your dancing replays. I'm sure people are going to be getting mad at people dancing in front of them and stuff, but I'm just wanting to watch a lot of replays with dancing units, because it's been a while since I've seen some good dancing. There's like the classic BM dancing. I think it was Bomber in the old days who had like a game won in the GSTL and danced his Marines and Banelings ran into them and killed them all. And he actually lost the game, and it was like, oh my god, you moron. I always love those famous moments. Of course, in this case, it's not even really being BM. But I'm sure people will start assuming it's players being BM, and then at a point they might realize that the guy actually is dancing to give warning every time he's attacking. I don't know. Either way, it's going to be funny. It's going to be entertaining. So hopefully you guys can send me in some of those games. For now, it looks like a very standard Reaper expand here. Gas first Reaper expand for Heromarine. We'll be following this up with a nice early factory. Solar, on the other side of things, has gone for a hatch gas pool. So both really typical openings. No gas pool opening out of Solar. Solar's one of the few Zergs who kind of didn't just immediately swing in the direction of I go gas pool every game because I'm afraid of 3 racks Reaper, or or I want to try and run past your Reaper and slow down your command center. So Solar here, he is going to get a little bit of a better economic opening than a lot of the Korean Zergs are going for these days. Heromarine just going to poke in with this Reaper, see if he can find some damage. Not really finding anything. Remember, this KD8 charge can actually be thrown out once every like 7 seconds, so he can spam those quite a little bit. It's not the crazy 14-second cooldown that we have at the moment. But good micro from Solar, just dodging all the grenades. And it looks like an Overlord speed opening coming out of Solar. So Solar mined 200 gas and then pulled 2 drones off gas. He's going to be really focusing on that scouting. His positioning is just spectacular right now. He's just blocking any sort of pressure. 3rd queen on the way. However, because he's gone for that Overlord speed, we are seeing that the 3rd hatchery is going to be very delayed for Solar. Back at home for Heromarine. Ooh, he's going double Hellions and a super fast 3rd command center off 1 gas. And that's actually interesting because Solar, oh man, I think Heromarine made a big mistake by leaving this gas bare. I think he should have taken this gas first and then taken that gas, because this gas could be scouted so easily. But Solar hasn't actually spotted it. Only now with Overlord speed does Solar see that 3rd command center and realize what he's up against. And with the delayed 3rd base, this is really good for Heromarine. Nice economic opening. Straight into Stim. 3 barracks and then double eBay is the way we normally see this build. We've seen Beyond, TY, a lot of the top Terran players using this build a lot lately. They definitely don't like to do it every game, but they do like to mix it in there because it is very powerful as long as you don't get hit by a very specific all-in early on, of course, because you've only got a few Hellions and Marines. It can do decently against the 7 Roach Ravager pressure as well. I did a daily talking about Bial's 7 Ravager pressure, which was specifically meant to really wreck Hellion openings because they're not very good against pressure. But with this build, the stim is actually so early. So even though you've got the fast 3rd CC, the stim actually finishes soon after those Roaches and Ravagers arrive, and you can often just chase them off. And yeah, if the Zerg doesn't completely commit to a huge attack, they're going to get overwhelmed. Alright, so while we do continue here, just for a moment, I'm going to throw this on Heromarines camera actually, because I want to take a look at his multitasking. And while I do that, I want to be the intelligent baller that I am that forgot to turn notifications off once again. And I'm going to do that very quickly. Reaper here goes for a scout, checks that there's nothing crazy going on. It's actually a very late lair out of Solar as well. Let me turn those alerts off. Alright. Thank you guys. Hopefully you enjoyed watching Heromarines camera once again. Amazing production here at the Pig Daily. So 1-1 is slightly behind for Heromarine, but he's already got a 3rd base landed, and this is really frightening for Solar right now. Solar does have a 3rd base saturated, so he's keeping track of the economy. He's kind of keeping on par, but right now the supply is ahead for Heromarine. Heromarines being able to get away with a nice greedy opening. We've got 1-1 well on the way. Baneling Nest is going to time out to finish along with this lair, and Solar can go on up into things like Mutalisks, Baneling Speed. His creep spread's getting pretty far out. That's going to be very important here for Solar if he wants to be hanging on in this game. But Heromarine, he's just comfortable to macro up, and he's hitting the point now with 1-1 and combat shields soon to be finished, medevacs out. He's going to be able to start pressuring with these Marines, and his real goal is to stop this creep exploding, because right around this point you can see this creep is starting to go out in so many different directions. We start to see that if it gets left alone, it's going to cover the entire map. But Heromarines actually just going to, he realizes there's no vision on this drop, so he's going to go straight into that main base. Zerglings are kind of far out of position. Solar a little bit slow to respond here, already loses 1 drone. And oh man, he's actually going to focus down the spawning pool. Heromarine with the big pick off there. Loses about 5 Marines to take out that spawning pool. And now Zergling and Baneling production, or Zergling production, is halted for Solar. Solar's going to just build a lot of drones. He's going to try and macro really greedily to make up for that spawning pool going down. And these Marines being nice and annoying. Another army is starting to work its way across the map. Armory is finishing up for Heromarine. 2-2 starts immediately. Great macro. Heromarine really hasn't had any pressure on his side of the map from Solar. He's just kind of doing his thing. He's coming in. Hellbat's morphing. These Banelings being exposed here. Slow Banelings come in. Take some pretty poor trades. Solar having to cancel his Baneling morph. He's actually in a lot of trouble right now. And Heromarine doing massive damage. Bane Speed finally kicks in. But already half of the Zerg army goes down. And Heromarine finds a beautiful window here to take a very good trade. Gonna go in, keeps on focusing down these units, picks up his last few Marines and gets on out of there. Let's check out that unit's loss tab at the end of that. Whoa, about 1,000 resources lost in the favor of Heromarine. Behind this, he's spending his money really well. He's got his 6th, 7th, and 8th barracks going up. He's gonna go Reactor, Tech Lab, and Tech Lab, yeah. That seems to be the standard edition these days. People like to get that 5th reactor and just have 3 Tech Labs. Triple Marauder production tends to be enough. As the Terran really wants to push their advantage in the mid-game. They want a lot of these high damage output Marines rather than just a whole bunch of clunky Marauders, which obviously can't shoot up and simply can't really gun down units that much. They're only really there for tanking. Heromarines drop in the main is going to get slowed down, but this creep in the middle, a little bit out of control. Solar buys himself a little bit of space there. Big Zergling counterattack coming in though, but great positioning from Heromarine. He is well positioned on that lower depot with his rally point. Holds on against that. Meanwhile, still dancing around with his drop in the southern part of the map. Of course, Heromarine doesn't want to force a fight right now necessarily. Usually it's as you get to 160, 170, 180 supply, as you get 2-2 upgrades and above, that is when Heromarine wants to fight. But there is a small window where 2-2 is done right now for Zerg, and it isn't done for Heromarine, so Solar might want to pick a fight right now. Oh, this is a great bit of scouting there from Heromarine. He knew there was a counterattack up there, went looking for it, takes it out. At the same time, his parade push in the middle of the map, not looking to force a fight, just looking to deny creep spread. But he's quite deep on creep right now. Actually denies the 5th base as well. He's still got this drop on the south. All of these different squads out of the map makes it very hard for Solar to choose exactly when he can take an engagement, because he's got so many different angles to worry about. And these Zerglings trying to buy a little bit of space, buy a bit of time, but not finding too much just yet. Solar's got his hive on the way. He's building more and more Lings and Banes, but he is still down in supply right now. And +3 attack is starting for Heromarine. He's got that 4th CC down behind this, so he's not all in, but he does want to push now. He wants to get some damage done. A lot of bio mine is still at home, but we've got a lot of mines here. 8 Widow Mines. He needs to burrow them, though. Oh, wow. The Banelings coming in. They get a few decent detonations. They do take out a Widow Mine as well. But Heromarine's not going to be stopped. He's pushing deep on creep right now. He is not going to slow down. The Banelings setting off a lot of these Widow Mines. Is it time? Is Solar going to go for it? Oh, he takes a really bad Widow Mine shot there. A little bit indecisive. He kind of pulled back his Zerglings, but he'd already baited the Widow Mine shot, so he pulled it into his clump of Zerglings. Solar just not quite decisive enough with dealing with that. He's got his Ultra Cavern on the way behind this, but he seems to just be getting overwhelmed right now. His Zergling counterattacks are not finding any damage. Heromarine always seems to have the right number of units at home and on the front. But Solar's just going to jump in on top right now. Going to look for an angle. He's got so many Banelings, not that many Zerglings to overwhelm. There's still a good Widow Mine count here. Trying to split off these units. Still active Widow Mines in the rear. Banelings coming in now for the engage. There are still some Zerglings here. It looks like finally Solar is going to chase off that front. But the rally gets here just in time. The medevac count is insane. They're low on energy, but there is still 7 medevacs. And behind this, the 4th command center has landed. 3-3 is on the way. The supply lead is still here for Heromarine. Heromarine has to be careful because he's now in this smaller army supply. Most of his Widow Mines have been cleared up, and that's his anti-Baneling. However, if he can just keep pushing into the middle, deny the creep spread, and then wait once again until he's at that higher supply count, 160, 170, 180, with most of his army out on the map, that's when things really do start to pay dividends for him. So I love that he's leaving these 2 anti-counterattack Widow Mines back at home. He's going to bring those out now, so there's like a very narrow window of time here when the units haven't rallied out, right when he leaves the base. That's like the only time where Solar might find an opening. But we see very quickly these units are rallying out. His macro is strong. Heromarine has a drop on the north side of the map. He's going to run in and start killing drones while engaging here in the middle of the map. Picks up, gets out of that big Widow Mine hit. And drones going down. The 5th base starting to take a lot of damage. The Zergling counterattack has not found anything over there just yet. And it looks like Heromarine here just continuing to do this textbook, just parade push, multi-prong, macro Terran, expanding, defending counterattacks. He's finally got concussive shells. He forgot that earlier on. And it looks like here we go. Ultras, Lings, Banes are going to come in. There's not that much Zerg here. There's not that much Terran either. A lot of it is trying to block counterattacks. This single couple of... Okay, 2 Ultralisks, a few Queens. The Zerglings are coming in as well, but the Liberators are set up. There's Widow Mines. Solar doesn't have the numbers right now, especially after losing these drones. He's back down to 66 workers. He needs to take a good fight, and he needs to take it now. The Ultralisks getting zapped by these Liberators. And everything's just getting blasted to pieces right now. Heromarine is all over this game. He is way up in supply right now. He's adding ship weapons. He's got two Liberators building at a time. He's continuing to push in on the front. Solar keeps trying to buy space for himself, but the Liberator Widow Mine push is just relentless. The Zergling counterattack comes in. Oh, it looks like there's an... Oh, man. Big Widow Mine hits on the ramp. Take out all of those Zerglings. The last few Queens here, the Ultra, the Banelings, going to realize they can't hold this ground. They're going to have to evacuate. The drones being pulled. That 5th base on the north is going to be fully saturated, but it's going to be the new 4th base. And Solar desperately going to try to take this base, but there's no real creep to defend that. And look at this. A single Liberator is already sieged up, queued up to siege up there. Heromarine going to drop in the main base as well, just saying, you know what, I'm ahead. Let's just keep on trading. I'm going to abuse this ramp. He's got 3 Liberators sieged up here. Some Widow Mines going to burrow. This Liberator up on the north starts taking down drones as well. And it is just brutal. Heromarine taking some fantastic trades this game. Excuse me. Some fantastic trades this game. And these Liberators even going to start blasting down these Queens. The Queen's really not even doing that well. He's finally going to clean it up. Just barely. But he loses most of the Queens. The bio drops back down. Heromarine just dancing around back and forth a little bit. I think he realizes now, he's like, wait, I'm maxed out. Oh, let's bring that extra army across the map. Doesn't have a lot of medevacs back at home, but he's kept these 6 medevacs alive, which is so important. Of course, Solar never found the room to get out Muters or Corruptors, anything to snipe down the medevacs. Never had a decisive win in the engagement. And Heromarine crushes through there. Very decisive game. I mean, he had such a nice opening. And you could see there, with no pressure on him, Heromarine just looked like a god. And that was Heromarine throughout this entire tournament. It was only when the Korean, pros could really force like a sort of messy, chaotic situation where they'd actually eventually be able to catch him out of position once they put a lot of pressure on him. But whenever Heromarine was able to play his own game this tournament, he just looked very textbook. Nothing special about his play either. You don't look at it and you're like, oh, this is such a clever time. It's like, oh, cool, you just did like quite a strong macro opening. Maybe slightly risky here, but then it's like good defense on the counters. He's got the good offense as well. So we will dive straight into map number 2. Of course, I can't use Game Heart or anything like that, guys. That's why the overlay is a bit pleb, because it is an older version of StarCraft, because that patch came out immediately after this tournament last week. So let's hop into map number 2 and let's take a look at it. Come on, baby. There we go. Holy shit.